Welcome everyone back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. My name is D-Free. Here today we are going to go ahead and talk about the new cooler. So he's not out, we don't have a date for him yet, but nonetheless we do know what he does courtesy of the Dokkan official Twitter. And I'm going to go ahead and try to show you guys some of the better units and the general team building strategies as it pertains to this unit. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you enjoy the team builds and analysis videos, make sure you do leave a thumbs up. Let's get up to 1,000 likes on this video, and only you can prevent us from getting there, so don't be that guy. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump into it. So leader skill. This is a FRIEZA clan's leader skill. So dope. Wanted this for a long time. We finally have it. So of course, in this video, we're going to try to take advantage of the units that will be in this category. He gets a 170 across the board to the whole category, by the way. Not 130 HP or 130 defense and 170 attack. No weird splits like that. Just 170 through and through. Also supports extreme AGL for 3 key and 90%. It could just be regular AGL, but I've been hearing that it's extreme. Anyways, he has that, so we're going to treat it as extreme. The passive skill, attack and defense plus 80% at the start of the turn. Attack goes up by 10% with each hit received up to a maximum of 70%. He heals 7% HP each turn, and when he dips below 50%, he automatically transforms into the Giant Meta Cooler. The Giant Meta Cooler does not have anything going for him. It's just a regular giant transformation like the apes. Has no passive or anything like that. So that is how this unit breaks down. That's pretty much Hirudegarn's passive back there. But a lot is put into this unit, and we'll actually get into breaking it down. So that being said, when it comes to this guy, of course, he has the normal FRIEZA Clansman links. I actually don't have a translation for them, but I'm pretty sure he has the normal ones. He also has Big Bad Bosses and Fierce Battles. So this is what I wanted to do. So for the most part, I'm pretty much assuming that only units that have this link will be in here. Strongest clan in space. Maybe a few others that are in this race that maybe aren't in here for some reason. But nonetheless, these are the characters that we have access to for this video. So obviously, there are a lot of really good options that come to mind. Namely FRIEZA variants like the Tech FRIEZA, the Golden FRIEZA, the STR FRIEZA, the Physical FRIEZA, the Full Power FRIEZA. There's Physical Cooler here. There's the LR FRIEZA too. There's a lot, right? So I wanted to kind of do it this way. So let's come over here. So off the bat, we're going to do this. Off the bat, right? We're going to look at Extreme AGL. Why? Because they feature one of the best support units in the game. If you have access to this guy, put him on this team. Also, cooler units typically have Thirst for Conquest. That's an additional 15%. Fierce Battle, Big Bad Bosses, 3 key passive. There is no reason, if you have Turles, not to run him on this team, even though he doesn't fit the theme. That's why these leaders do have that secondary leader skill. But I'll give you guys a solid option that you can replace him with. Now, there's actually a very good in-house option. This cooler is really good. Unfortunately, only supports AGL type, so it would only be him and the leader and any other AGL units you wind up using for some reason. Anyways, that being said, let's move on from that. So we're going to start off here. Cooler does Turles does make it immediately onto the team. He's the first option we pick up. So let's go ahead and take a look at the enhanced transformation category, because they pretty much have all these units that are listed in the strongest clan in space in here. Obviously, we're not really going to utilize any of these, right? We're not going to use any of these SRs, so we're going to move past that. When we look at the SSRs, we do have some solid options. None of them are like crazy good. A lot of these actually awaken, but we do have some solid ones, such as the Cooliza / Fura, I believe. We also have the Loser FRIEZA, who's not great at all. Don't know why I brought him up. But most notable unit here is actually this guy. So if you don't have Turles or you just want to run the theme, run this guy instead. To be honest, he might offer some more valuable links as well other than Turles, but Turles actually peaks a little bit higher with some of the other things that he can do as well. But again, up to you. Nice option to run on the team nonetheless. Could also still make the team even if you have a Turles, depending on how you want to run the team. So that being said, honorable mention goes to this guy. So moving on from that, we're going to start funneling in some of the characters that should obviously be here. Tech FRIEZA, very high ceiling. No reason not to run this unit, right? Very powerful, very good. Again, deserves to be on this team. Now, the thing about this is, by the way, I mentioned it earlier, but the cooler units have the same name. So, example, if you wanted to run the AGL, can't run them if you have physical on the team. If you wanted to run the leader, of course, for this category, can't run the int one. So that immediately kind of changes some of our options. But you can run the LR. So the Meta Cooler core here, or corpse. They have whatever. They have access to being one of the better free-to-play options in the game, and they're able to output very well. So I want to take an opportunity here to transition into some of the Reddit posts that I came across while I was doing some research for this video before we proceed with finishing off the team build. But obviously, the cooler will probably wind up being on the team. So I wanted to point out that just like a few other units, the leader for the category, the AGL cooler here, his passive isn't just 150% maximum. It actually changes. It gets to a 206% attack boost when fully active, just due to the way the game calculates it. So keep that in mind. He has a very high offensive cap. So moving on. We did actually have a post talking about some of the better units over on the Reddit that I saw this morning. So I wanted to go over this and use it to kind of apply to some options that I choose. So LR Meta Cooler here, he says, is a straightforward, very popular as one of the best free-to-play units in the game with a radiant attack and defense boost from 90% downwards, depending on HP to his LR stats. So a very, very good option. So let's scroll down and look at some of the output that this unit has. So SA20 considered at full HP, that's fine. So of course, as you see, depending on the amount of HP that you have, the more HP, the better the boost is, up to a maximum of 90%. So at max HP, rainbowed, and with a support on rotation, he gets 2 million attack at 24 key. Pretty busted. So there's that. With Big Bad Bosses, without it, it's 2.2 versus 2.8. So very good unit. Peaks very, very high. Also has the additional attacks in his passive. 100% deserves to be on this team. So we're actually going to go ahead and add him in. He's not actually in this category. So we're going to turn this off and pull in that cooler here. And of course, if you don't have that unit, I mean, there's not really much of a reason you shouldn't. You could get him at any point. Go for it. If you don't, there's not really a handheld like, oh, there's another cooler you should put, because it's the only cooler that you can run with that name. So as far as other units that you can run, you just another generic hard-hitting unit does fit that billing there, like STR FRIEZA at final form, right? So anyways, we're going to put him on this team and then move on from here. So we're going to go back over to Enhanced Transformation, enable some of these other colors as well, and then we are going to get back to what I was talking about. So now that we have that filled in, right, we have pretty much two of our harder hitters. We're going to fill in some more of the obvious choices. No reason not to have Golden FRIEZA here. No reason. So as you see, this got really tight really fast, didn't it? Like, there's not really much here. And I'm going to tell you right now that out of all four of these units here, the easiest one to replace is this one. Why? Because it starts off very weak, and by the time it would get to golden, you're probably done. So this one can be easily replaced by a lot of other units. So this is the one I'm least easy about. So just keep that in mind. So he's kind of like a pseudo choice, but moving on. The Golden FRIEZA here peaks way too high, has a lot of intangibles, deserves to be on the team. So moving on from that, let's talk about some more of the other options we have. We have Full Power FRIEZA and Final Form Cooler. Now, I fully think Full Power FRIEZA deserves to be here. I think that this unit has too many things that it's good at as far as like offense is concerned because of the immense damage. Also, the early super works out pretty well in certain scenarios, excuse me. Also 120 and SA15, crazy high stats, you know, almost what, 20,000 HP, 17,000 attack. There's no reason not to run this guy, right? So I actually wanted to go back over here and take a look at some of the output. He actually winds up being the hardest hitter on this team I see here. So 3.2. No reason not to run this guy with Big Bad Bosses, that is, at Rainbow and with support. So Rainbow alone without the support. By the way, with Big Bad Bosses, there's such a huge disparity here without the support unit. Again, reminder, run your support units, because this is the difference between having one and not having one as far as FRIEZA is concerned. So the thing about the transforming FRIEZA, he peaks at 2.5. Since this one's a little odd, I'll be calculating the final form so that there aren't about to be 30 different calcs here. So he only used the final form for this. And even as the final form, it still peaks kind of low. Not low, but you know what I'm saying. Not high as some of the other units that we have here, or as high as the leader for that matter, who gets to 2.7 million. So again, Final Form FRIEZA, shoe in for this team. So we're going to go ahead and put him in wherever he's at, wherever he's hiding. It's like right here somewhere, isn't he? Wherever he's hiding. There you are. All right. So you see that the cool thing about this category is they all link really well. So we are good to go, right? Now, naturally, I can say this is your team, and then, of course, the leader, right? Because there's only 6 units applicable. We have 5 here. So there's that. If you wanted to make some wholesale changes, you could do stuff like this, right? Drop him for this. All of a sudden, your team is probably a little bit better on the front end, right? This FRIEZA is very, very powerful, is able to output a ton of damage. You can even, like I said, replace Turles for one of these other units if you wanted to do that, but you just saw the difference between having him and not having him, right? So as far as that's concerned, this is the team that he constructed, by the way. Metacooler Corpse, Full Power Frieza, Final Form Cooler, Transforming Frieza, and GT Frieza or Turles for that last spot as far as this video was concerned. So as far as Cooler goes, right, I think that Cooler, the regular physical Cooler, deserves a spot here. You know, it's just, to me, on the front end of it, you kind of just don't really need him. Now, the thing about Cooler and having him that's good is you can trigger some more of those, you know, Thirst for Conquest type links if the leader does have that, so that's cool as well. But, like, you kind of just don't really need him, and this team gets really, really stuffed, right? So what I would say is I showed you guys the team I would build and the way I would make it work, but there's no wrong answer to this. Because really what you can do is you can do something like drop this unit and add Cooler into the team, and whoever other your last unit is, whether that's the Tech Frieza, and you do something like this, which is pretty much the team that he was recommending in the post. You could do stuff like that. If you wanted to, like if there's a Super Battle Road stage, you can opt for more defense, right? And take a more defensive-oriented team and do something like this, and then add in the Int Golden Frieza as well, and then take your Cooler leader, and all of a sudden you're pretty much good to go defensively. You can even drop this guy and add in another defensive option, right? Or even the Int Frieza, who is able to tank relatively well, has a free level 5, and also is able to buff the defense, where Turles doesn't really help you as far as defense is concerned. So there's no real wrong answer to this. And that's what I really like about this category, alongside other categories that we've been seeing lately in the game, the versatility, right? So this is going to be a very, very, you know, high-end category as far as, like, not really high-end, but restricted category, I'd say, as far as like the opportunity to improve it in units that are applicable. But just keep in mind as well that if you really, really needed to, you can dip into the extreme AGL pool for more applicable units. So that is it, guys. Huge shout out to the Reddit and this Reddit creator post here. Definitely helped me out with some of my decision making. SSJ Ancient Being, thank you, means a lot to me. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'll leave a link to this post down below in the description. Have an awesome day, everybody, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy, guys.